Hello,
Hello there.
welcome to our channel. We're Pup and Bear Travels. I'm Dan,
I'm Bob.
and today we're doing something a bit different. People have asked us to certain things over, I say over the years, but over the time we've been vlogging over the past 2 years technically. And so we thought we'd put together a getting to know us type vlog, saying the things that people have asked us, or just some things we think you might be interested in about us.
We thought about doing a proper Q&A, asking you to ask us questions, but we don't feel we got enough followers. We're not sort of big enough, we think.
No.
So we just thought, well, we'll tell you the answers to what people have asked us already.
Mm-hmm.
If there's anything else you want to know, just pop it in the comments below and we'll answer you.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future, if we do get enough people wanting to do a proper Q&A, then we can do another one. But most of them are probably going to be answered this time around, hopefully.
Hopefully. We'll warn you, if you're not in the UK, we're in the grips of a bit of a heat wave at the moment as well. So if we get a bit shiny, it's because it's very warm here at the moment. We can't really have the fan on while we're recording. Yes. It's meant to be getting up to like 34 next week. 34 degrees, I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, so I can't really say. But yeah.
Also, usually when we do the chatty bits, we're sat on the sofa downstairs, where we thought, oh, now we've tidied up the office, come craft room for the video a few weeks ago. We thought, well, we'll sit up here, it's a bit brighter and lighter, but obviously upstairs heat rises, so
Yeah.
we'll be a bit warmer, but it's a prettier background than a plain wall.
I will warn you as well, we have a window open, so if you hear cars going by every now and again, we'll try and like re-record bits if a car goes by and cut them out. But yeah, just so you know, it might not happen all the time. You might hear a car every now and again. So we've written a few things down that we think people might be interested in. The first thing is just a random thing, and it's tea or coffee. And I clearly like tea.
It's okay.
Tea's lovely.
Not as nice as my toffee nut latte.
Yeah, Bob drinks a lot of coffee, but it's not like coffee. Well, it's lattes out of a sachet type thing.
Because I'm cheap and common.
I hate coffee. Coffee's vile.
Heathen.
So, to start with, we'll probably talk about ourselves a bit. It seems a bit vain, but you know.
That's what people ask us.
Yeah. And sort of go over how we first met and how long ago, that type of thing. Would you like to start?
Yeah, I forget how many years ago it is now. It's got to be, we've been together 7, so probably talking 9.
Yeah, probably.
But we were at Thorpe Park with friends, mutual friends. You were with your partner of the time, and we were just having like a social day out at Thorpe Park. Hadn't met you before. I remember thinking, oh my god, he's so cute. Didn't speak to you all day because I was shy around people I don't know, and particularly around cute guys.
Hi, shy.
Oh. But at the end of the day, I thought to myself, well, we're all saying giving goodbye hugs and kisses, and you know, see you soon. Hopefully, keep in touch. So I gave you a great, big, huge, squeezy hug, and jokingly said to your partner, "Can I keep him?" And then we just kept in touch online for a few years. Didn't see you face to face again for probably about 3 years, and then in 2015, a group on Facebook organised to go on the London Pride March. In the actual march, it was a London nightclub that we were all members of online. And you'd recently split with your partner.
Yeah, a few months beforehand.
A few months beforehand, yeah. And you were in the same chat group for this Pride March, and said, "Oh, while we're there, can we catch up, meet up, and sort somebody to walk with?" I said, "Oh yes, certainly come walk with me and my friends. You know, And then when I saw you face to face again after 3 years, it was, oh my god, he's even cuter. But made the point of chatting more and getting to know you a bit better face to face, and it just went from there. It turns out, while I was saying to a mutual friend, oh my god, he's really cute, or love to go on a date with him, but he wouldn't be interested, he's out of my league. You were saying the same thing to him from your end about me, apparently, or something to that effect. So
yeah. So that was 2015, as we said. 2015? Yeah. And then we've been married almost 3 years this year.
Yeah. Because you proposed in 2016.
Yes. So that's the next question is about the proposal. So I'm inherently a very shy person. You may not know it because I talk quite a lot on the vlogs, but that is due to streaming. So I would have been so shy to do anything in front of a camera before, but I started streaming it was almost 2 years ago when I started it, and or a year and a half, I can't remember. It really brought my confidence up with talking to the camera, so that's why I can talk to the camera. But back when I proposed, we were going to another event in Scotland, in Edinburgh, and I decided that I was going to propose to Bob, and I arranged with the organisers and a few friends to help me propose to him on stage in front of hundreds of people at one of the events. So on the morning that this was happening, at about 9 o'clock, we went for breakfast in one of the bars, and I was drinking vodka at about 9 o'clock, so trying to get a bit of Dutch courage. And then we went to this club, and one of the organisers up on stage and was like, just before we get on with the festivities, I'd like to invite Dan and Bob up onto the stage. And then Bob was like, what?
Did you just say our names?
And I just grabbed him, pulled him up and proposed. I was very shy, very quiet, and I cried the entire time, pretty much, while I was trying to propose to him. And a few friends, when I came off of the stage from proposing, said to me, why are you the one that's crying? You were proposing, he's meant to be the one that's crying. But yeah, and then we got married in 2019.
The reason I didn't suspect anything was because up until that point, you'd always said to me that because of your anxieties, depression, fear of rejection, everything, even though you know I would never say no if you asked me, the thought is always in the back of your head that I might say no and you'd be devastated, so I would have to be the one that proposed. So of course I was going along around that same sort of time thinking, maybe I should propose to him in February, because this was the October of 2016. And I thought maybe in February, in his birthday, I'll find a way of proposing to him because I really want to marry him. So I was none the wiser that he had all this planned, because so even when he was drinking at 9 o'clock in the morning, I was just thinking, oh, we're basically on holiday, it's a weekend away, so yeah, if he wants to drink and he's having a nice relaxed weekend, he's gone off chatting to friends which he hadn't done before and on his own. So I was thinking, oh, he's come out of his shell, this is great. So when he said, oh, let's get near the front of the stage, and normally we would be near the back because we don't want to be sort of be in the way. But I thought, no, okay, we can stand near the stage if we want. So as soon as this, we'll kind of bob and down to the stage. It was a case of...
Sorry.
It was a case of, it can't mean us, surely. But, yeah, it was very shocked.
Yeah, it was, yeah, I needed to make sure I did it in a way that he wouldn't suspect anything, so that was the way I did it.
Well, apparently I did nearly find the engagement ring.
Yeah, so when we got to the Airbnb, I think it was, we had like an apartment where we were sharing with a friend, and then Bob said about unpacking the case. I was like, no, I'll do it, it's fine.
It's just the one thing at the time I was thinking, well, it's normally me that does that sort of stuff. Okay, saves me a job.
Yeah. So yeah, and then it went from there. And then we got married in 2019 in Winchester with just a few friends and family, small ceremony. And then we went to Disney World in September.
Yeah, we didn't go on the honeymoon the same time just after the wedding.
No.
Because August is very hot and it's very busy, and it's school holidays over there, UK school holidays, which means a lot of them will be over there. So we waited until September because a month later wasn't long to wait, and the prices go down a bit, the parks are a little bit quieter.
And in reality, the holiday was never a honeymoon to start with. The holiday was booked first, and we obviously were already engaged and we knew we wanted to get married, and then we thought, why not make it a honeymoon? Let's get married before we go. So it sounds like the wedding was an afterthought, but we already knew we wanted to get married, but it just made sense to make that big holiday a honeymoon. So we got married, and it meant that we could have like badges when we went to Disney World saying celebrating honeymoon and stuff like that.
And our lovely friends and family gave us money
Yes.
for our wedding presents.
Mm-hmm.
So he said we've got everything we need, gift-wise, you know, things around the house and everything. Because I've lived here for since I was 19. But yeah, our friends and family, we said don't worry about presents. Honestly, we're just a small little no frills. There's a no frills wedding we called it because
Yeah.
had 30 people, registry office, wedding, then down to a little Italian restaurant, Zizzi's or Zaza's over the head. Zizzi's. And then after that, most of the family and friends went home. A few stayed overnight and had a few drinks in the evening. But yeah, we said don't worry about gifts, and of course our friends were going, no, don't be stupid. Here's a bit of money towards your holiday and your honeymoon.
Yeah, some of them actually gave us dollars, like actual dollars, so that we couldn't spend it before we went on holiday, and then some gave us just general cash. So yeah,
All much appreciated.
yeah, it was. Thank you, everyone. So moving on from that, because Bob mentioned about living here for however many years.
Since November 1997.
So that leads on to our next question: where do we live?
In a house.
We live in a lovely town called Swindon, famous for its magic roundabout and maybe the Steam Museum.
You say lovely as if it's not. It's nice enough around here.
It's alright. There's not much to do around here.
But it's quite centrally located for places like London and
Yeah.
Bristol, and down to your family in Portsmouth and stuff.
Portsmouth and West Sussex. But yeah, it's only like an hour on the train to London if you want to go. 40 minutes drive to Bristol. So yeah, it's quite useful. I have lived all over the place. I've lived in London, Brighton, West Sussex, Hull, Portsmouth. So I get around a bit. But you've lived mainly in this area, haven't you?
Well, always in the southwest, but yeah, a little tiny hamlet called Buscott until I was about 1 year old. Then Stamford in the Vale, then Shrivenham, and now Swindon.
Are they all Wiltshire, aren't they?
Ish. Wiltshire, Oxfordshire. That's where.
So yeah, whereas I've been around a bit.
That's what she said.
Yes. I don't know whether we've discussed it on videos before, but we are planning on moving at some point. So the question that we've been asked by some people is, where would we like to live?
If Dan had his way,
Yeah, this is a bit of a bone of contention between us two.
but only a light to put it in.
Yeah, not like an argument or anything. We
I
don't.
don't think we've ever argued, have we? Much?
No, we don't argue.
Got a bit stroppy with each other, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I love Bristol. I've always thought, I've been planning for years that I would eventually move to Bristol. This is while I was still single. Dan would prefer Manchester.
Yep.
I love Manchester when we visit it for weekends now and then. Not that we've done that much, obviously, because of COVID, but I don't think I'm ready to move into a big city. I don't know. I love Manchester. I don't know. And living there, even with all our friends that live up there, I don't know, that would just spoil the love of the city.
Well, I think if we ever did move up there, we wouldn't move into the city. I'm not talking city centre. I'm talking like suburbs. So it would still be like this type of area, because we're in like a housing estate, as it were, where we are. Isn't it like ex-housing estate, ex-council housing estate? So it's nice. It's a nice, relatively nice area. So if we moved to Manchester, it would be like that type of area. I wouldn't ever live in the city centre of Manchester, because for one, it's probably really expensive. Two, you probably only get a flat, and I don't really want a flat.
And you're not keen on moving to Bristol. So
No.
when we do move next year, probably, for now at least, it's still going to be Swindon area.
Swindon area, yeah.
Just some extra rooms, bigger garden, driveway, preferably a garage.
Yeah, we've got a long list of things we want in the house. Some of them are deal breakers. A lot of them are just like nice to have. Like, I'd like to have an ensuite in the master bedroom, but if we didn't get a house with ensuite, then that wouldn't be a deal breaker for me. Okay.
Another reason not to move to Manchester, at least yet, is that when we do go on holidays, my parents come and babysit Loki and the house, and at the minute they live about 8 miles away, so they can be here in 20 minutes, if or less. Moving up to Manchester, or even as far away as 45 minutes away in Bristol, my mum, bless her, always said, "Oh no, we couldn't go to Bristol. It's too busy. We've heard it's too busy driving into Bristol. We never see you." And we're thinking, well, you could, but going up to Manchester, I jokingly said to her before about moving there, and she's, oh no, you can't move that far away, Bobby. No, you too if you can't go that far away. But it's just handy at the minute as well to have them, because they absolutely love staying here looking after the dog, which surprised us that they were that keen on it. But
yeah, that is very useful. The fact that, because when we first had Loki, and they offered to look after him overnight once, and they're like, we can never do more than overnight. And then all of a sudden, last year, it was this year, wasn't it? At the beginning of this year, when we went to Florida, we had a friend that was meant to be looking after him, but unfortunately things happened and it couldn't go ahead. And then his parents were like, oh yeah, we'll look after him for 2 weeks. And we were like,
yeah, because we said that who'd looked after Loki before, could definitely still do the first week of the holiday while we were away. Might not have been able to do the second week, but wouldn't know until the second week. So he said to my parents that it's a bit of a big ask. I know we've gone out to turn to, we can't put him in a candle because he wasn't up to date with his vaccines at the time. If it comes to it and we get hear from our friend that he can't do the second week, and we get message you back, can you please do the second week? And they went, oh no, let me see, don't tell your friend not to worry about it. No, we'll do the whole fortnight. Because we're going, but you said you can never do more than 1, maybe 2 nights at a push. That's a big thing to ask of you. They said, well, you didn't ask, we offered.
Yeah.
And then every time now they go, every time we go into, like, say, a wedding or anything, it's a case of, you're staying overnight, we'll come look after Loki, we'll come stay at your place and look after Loki. I'm going, we weren't planning on anything like that, but thank you very much. My sister messaged, my sister lives with my parents, going, oh Mum, Dad want to know if you're going away anywhere soon for a weekend or something. They want to come look after the Loki for you. Thinking, okay, thank you, I'm going to keep that in mind.
So on the subject of siblings, how many siblings do you have?
1 of each. 2, a brother and a sister, both younger than me.
I don't have many.
You have...
So I have 3 siblings on my mum's side, and then 3 siblings on my dad's side, and then there's a plethora of step-sisters and brothers, so a fair few. Yeah, I got a big family.
It was very confusing trying to learn all your brothers and sisters and their names and who was the daughter of which parent after your parents separated. Bless, one of your sisters is a name very similar to a family pet. So every time I saw your sister Ellie, I had to remember it's Ellie, not Nellie, because Nellie's a boxer dog.
Yes.
Things like that. Hi Ellie.
And I was just going to say that Bob was thrown into the thick of it, the deep end, the first Christmas we were together, because he was introduced to a lot of my family in very quick succession. So we went to London and we saw my aunt and her husband, and then my dad turned up with my brother and my sister on that side, my brother and one of my sisters from that side, and his Mrs. Debbie was there? Yeah, she turned up as well. And then we travelled down south to visit friends. We saw friends just after, I think it was Boxing Day? I can't remember.
Around that time, yeah.
And then we went to my parents' house, and you met my mum and my stepdad, my sister, my niece, both my sisters, brother-in-law.
2 brother-in-laws.
Yeah, so he was thrown into the deep end around Christmas, and the first Christmas which we had, and I was like, if you can get through all that, then you're definitely the one.
Just spent weeks I was going, which one was that again? And which one was it? Which one was that?
It wasn't until last year that you met the last of my siblings. Just because we're a bit spread out, so like one of my sisters lives in Gateshead near Newcastle, 2 of my siblings live in Plymouth, 1 lives in Nottingham, some live in West Sussex, Dad lives in Italy, Mum lives in West Sussex, so it's we're all over the place.
So when I saw your last sister, that was a case of, oh, right, full house, met everybody now, bingo.
The next question, so we've been on a few holidays and it seems like we have lots of money, which we really don't. Obviously things have happened like COVID, and we just happen to have stuff roll over, like the fact we've got 2 holidays this year. We had one in February, we got one in September, both Disney World. The February one, as you probably watched our vlogs, the February one was already paid for ages ago. But on sort of the topic, we do have day jobs. Because, I mean, we're not famous YouTubers, obviously, and we don't expect to be. We just like doing vlogging and showing off ourselves a bit. But Yeah, we have day jobs. I work in
IT techie stuff.
Yeah, that's what it calls it. I sit behind a computer at home all day. I do go to the office now and again, but I work in asset management, facilities management company.
Wouldn't it make more sense to sit in front of the computer?
My title, I think currently, because my job's kind of like changed a bit, and it should be changing again. I'm just in like a temporary role, but I'm a planner and scheduler is what my title is technically. And Bob, what do you do?
Yeah, after 15 and a half years working for Asda Walmart, I finally escaped. Changed jobs. And now I work in a building about 15-minute stroll away from home, making conservatory windows and doors. No weekends, no bank holidays. They close down for Christmas week, which I'm looking forward to. So, loving it. Definitely, yeah. Better money, better hours.
Took us a while to get him out of Asda, but we did it eventually. It was really getting to him quite a bit, so...
Avoid working in retail.
Yeah, I did my stint in retail, but I haven't done it for a long time. I've been office-based, corporate-y world type stuff for a long time now, so...
And he says I'm too young to retire.
Yeah.
So I stay at home, I do the housework, that's fine.
No.
He said, no, you're not retiring until we can both afford to retire. I said, yeah, but I'm 5 years older than you. I should be able to retire, albeit not yet, but 5 years before you.
My reasoning to him is always, there's the two options. Like, we could live off my wages if we needed to. And it's like, well, you either quit and retire. And,
I'm too young, admittedly, I'm only 44.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And we don't go on holiday again to Disney World. Or you continue working so we can go on a holiday to Disney World. That's kind of the deal.
Me.
So on the topic of jobs, do you have or would you have a dream job?
This is a bit of a random, odd, niche one that probably wouldn't get me any money these days, but I've always loved making things out of wood and crafts and arts and crafts in general. And for years, because I used to work in a pine factory making furniture, and I used to be able to have some of the offcuts. So I used to make like wooden toys and little shelves, bits and pieces, and sell to friends. I always said I would love to have a little workshop, doing any sorts of arts and crafts or woodwork, anything like that, and then have a little shop at the front and be able to sell it. But these days there'd be no call for that, I would have thought. But
I suppose you didn't say bakery.
Well, that would be another one. I did at one point think about so over the years done lots of baking, baked wedding cakes and cupcakes, and just for friends and family. And some of them have paid me for it. But I did think about making that into a business at one point. But you have to be so strict with health and hygiene, and the kitchen has to be separate to the rest of the house, and so there's no dust in it. Well, all these sort of bits and pieces. And so we're doing it just for yourself and a few family and friends and that. But to do it as a full-time business would be too much stress.
Yeah. I think my dream job, always when I was growing up, would be working on the steam railways. As a steam, I'd prefer to be a driver, like driving steam trains. And I always said if I ever won the lottery and could quit working, I couldn't not work, so I would go and volunteer on a steam railway. Is probably what I'd do.
Add that to my list as well, because my granddad used to have... Well, there are lots of different things. I love steam railways and that. But my granddad used to have a job that had some dealing with the steam railway in Swindon. I don't remember exactly what he did now. I'd have to ask my parents, but yeah. So from a young age, I remember thinking, "Oh, steam trains, that sounds fun," and seeing them on school trips to railway stations and things.
I grew up with going to preserved steam railways with my nan. I went to a lot of them over the years, so I've always had a love for them.
And your favourite steam train is?
Well, it's the A4 class, the Mallard. So. That's enough about us specifically, but also in our house we do have animals. Some of you would have seen
The Floof.
Yes.
The hairy beastie.
Loki, our dog, which we rescued from a friend that couldn't look after him anymore.
So a lot of people ask us in messages, they say, Loki's adorable, what breed is he? And he is?
He is an Akita crust with crust. He is an Akita. Oh my god. he is an Akita cross with a husky. Husky cross with an Akita. It means that he molts a lot. He sheds his fur 24/7 because both breeds are very molty dogs. He's started to get the vocalness of the husky lately. Like, up until really recently, he's been a very quiet dog. We've had him 3 years almost, and up until recently he wouldn't bark, he didn't make any noise
unless he's playing tug of war and gets a bit sort of playful, but
but just lately he's started to get very vocal,
bit gobby.
Yeah, but not like barky, but he does like a type, like you see on TikTok. You see like huskies doing that sort of as if they're trying to talk to you, so he started to get that, which is fine.
Which is funny because a lot of the noise, I think, is a lot of times just really stretching and that sort of stuff. But it's funny, and he always lays on his back with legs in the air when he's sleeping. He's just such a cutie.
But even when he's being fed now, he starts going ruff, 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 like because he wants his food. He gets overexcited and stuff. So
overexcited, that's an understatement. Bless him.
Yeah, bless him. Yeah, he's lovely. But we do also have a bearded dragon.
Liza.
Yes. If you've watched our collection vlog, which we will link in the corner.
Sorry, Loki's obviously here just talking about him. He's just stuck his head around the bedroom door.
Which we'll link in the corner. This corner. We'll link the collection vlog in this corner, which is a very long vlog. But that's got a little clip of Liza in it, I think, if I remember correctly. I think we showed Liza.
We did. We went into the back room, yeah.
Bearded dragon. We have had many animals over the years. We've had
rats and degus,
zebra finches, anoles, which are like little lizards.
But yeah, so we just live with small animals that don't really have a long lifespan anyway. Because we had them, but they were already quite old, some of them. So we're not getting any more little pets until we move house next year or something.
No, we want a cat. We're not quite sure how Loki's going to cope with the cat, but he should be fine. He's not like violent, so.
Oh, he's a big softy. The cat would probably scare him.
Possibly.
I was out letting him out this morning into the garden to have a run around, and the little girl from next door was peeping over the fence. Excuse me. And they've got little kittens, and one of them had got out of the house and was up on top of the pagoda in our garden, and she could see it over the fence. So I was trying to get this cute little kitten down, and Lucas was on my feet the whole time, paying no interest at all. Just the only thing he was interested in was a wind chime that was going tinkle, tinkle, tinkle. So I don't think a cat would worry him at all. He wouldn't go after it, I wouldn't have thought.
No. So as we did mention the collection tour, which you can see some bit behind us, and we said we'd link it in the corner. Sometimes we get asked questions like, what's our favourite item in our collection? Which is a really difficult question to answer, because we like it all for loads of different reasons. Like, some's got sentimental value in terms of because it's from our first holiday together. Some I just really like because it's Stitch, and I like Stitch. But yeah, so my favourite item in our collection at the moment, and if you've seen the collection vlog you would have probably gathered this, but it's the Stitch Funko of him on the rocket ship. So yeah, this is my favourite item in the collection currently, I think. I say I think because it changes from day to day. But yeah, he's so cute. He's such a cute one.
So cute.
No.
Yes.
And how about you?
Well, I had a job to decide because, like, I like everything that's here. I thought, well, is it my Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth, Fellowship of the Rings collection of ornaments behind down here? You can't see it. Is it the Doctor Who stuff? I really like some of the Funkos of the Disney characters riding their rides. But I think one of the things that keeps sticking out of my head as one of my favourites is this Dumbo from Disney Traditions. Partly because Dumbo is one of my favourite films since I was a kid. Especially the song The Pink Elephants and that sort of stuff. I loved that. And partly this because it's one of the first things that Dan bought me for a present when we were together. Even though he doesn't like Dumbo.
It's not I don't like it, it's just one of my least favourite Disney.
Same thing. So even though he doesn't like Dumbo much, he knows I do, and he still bought it for me. So I like that. That's one of my favourite ones.
And if you did have to pick a least favourite item, which we didn't plan this bit ahead, but
Well, we sort of did, because you asked me the other day what would be my least
it's on our
favourite.
list, but I forgot.
Yeah, and I, in passing, suggested it would be the Moran teapot behind me, just because it looks a bit...
Oh, you can see it here.
Oh yeah, that one. So it's not that it's a bad item at all. It's just that, to me, it just seems a bit sort of something of nothing. It's just a little weird little teapot, and I don't know, I don't really have a least favourite.
I think my least favourite thing in the collection, now don't get me wrong, this is Bob's going to glare at me. It's going to be Lord of the Rings stuff. Do not. I like Lord of the Rings, and I'm not saying I dislike any of the stuff. It's just that in the hierarchy of stuff that I like, Lord of the Rings is at the bottom for me. So I like the Lord of the Rings Lego, but it's the statues, so if I just grab one just so you can see them.
Careful.
I'm not going to break it. But this type of statue.
It's my Fellowship of the Rings I was just on about.
I know, but I don't know what it is. They're not for me, that's all. I like Lord of the Rings, but in the hierarchy of stuff I do like, they would be my least favourite stuff.
I divorce thee.
It's fine, my name's on the mortgage anyway, so it's fine. Can't kick me out. So moving on from that, vlogging is kind of our next category we're going to talk about. We get some questions about this because obviously we're relatively new to vlogging, but we've not been doing it that long. Though we recorded videos in 2019 when we first went to Disney World, I wouldn't class that as vlogging because they were just
it's just
ride videos.
this is what we're looking at. Didn't speak over it. Didn't show ourselves on the camera. Just this is us on a ride. This is us looking at a parade. And just put it on YouTube just to sort of get the hang of how to do it.
So we really started during pandemic time, wasn't it? First thing we vlogged was it Forest of Dean?
Well, yeah, what it was, we went our honeymoon in 2019 to Florida, Disney World, which is like we just said, all we recorded was just some of the rides and the parades, and we planned to go back in 2020 for our first anniversary, and we thought, well, from that holiday onwards we'll vlog properly. We'll try and record ourselves, talk to camera, do it properly like we see all the other people that we follow online doing on YouTube, like Adam Hatton, Mr. David, Mr. Ian, Lodge Guys, Disney in Detail, all the lovely YouTubers that we follow and watch. And we thought, let's try it ourselves. We probably won't be very good, but let's try it. Just to get ourselves out of our comfort zone. So we thought, well, we'll do that from our holiday in 2020 because that's when the pandemic hit. So the holiday was moved 3 or 4 times, which ended up being the holiday we had in February. It had been rolled over for the best part of 2 years. So we thought we don't want to wait until we can finally have this holiday, not knowing when it was going to be at the time. So we started doing random little vlogs, like I think it was, like you say, the Forest of Dean holiday in December of 2021.
I think it was 2020 because that's when we were originally going to go away, and so we decided to go to Forest of Dean.
So it's after some of the first lockdowns had been lifted. We went away just for 4 or 5 days to the Forest of Dean. Loki appears a lot in that one.
It wouldn't have been 2021 because that was only December just gone. So.
Of course it was.
And we were in Disneyland Paris then.
Wibbly wobbly timey-wimey and stuff.
Yeah, the whole 2 years the pandemic doesn't exist.
Yeah, it does not exist. So yeah, there's that. There's the things like Cotswold Wildlife Park. So we practiced with these odd little vlogs ready before we started doing it properly in Disneyland Paris in the December of 2021. And then a few months later it was the holiday in February, which is what a lot of people have been drawn to us because of the travel day vlog, which we were sort of gobsmacked about. But we've mentioned that in other posts. We won't gush over that again because we're so appreciative of it all. But
so yeah, we enjoy it. It does get us out of our comfort zone a bit. We still get nervous doing it around a lot of people. I find it easier to do in Disney World because for me it seems more almost acceptable for people to do it than
everybody seems to do it.
Yeah, other than like if you vlog here in say the zoos like we've done, people look at you more. So I get a bit more self-conscious about doing it there.
What are they doing? What are they recording that for? Do they think they are?
Yeah, and they look at them like, what are you doing? Whereas in Disney World, everyone's doing it, and so it's like it seems more acceptable. But hey, that's just my
Just as probably overthinking it, but
yeah.
It's also because of your streaming and everything, and you are more comfortable on camera. It's also why I don't. In the first several vlogs, at least, I didn't talk as much on camera.
Yeah.
Here it's a bit more relaxed because it's our house, so the house one's a bit easier. But yeah, when we're out in public, I'm still getting used to it, which is why I do a lot of the editing. Because to me, it feels like you've done most of the talking and recording and that. I just do a lot of the photographs, and I'm happy to sit there in the early hours of the morning after I've got up before work to do a couple of hours of editing before you wake up, drag yourself out of bed, walk across the landing and start work. So yeah, I do a lot of the editing because to me it feels like I've done my share. Then if you're recording and talking, and I'll edit.
Yeah. I swear some people just think that I'm like really dominant in the relationship and I'm taking over, but I'm really not. Shut up. So to vlog we use a couple of cameras. It's changed, so when we did Disneyland Paris, Disney World recently, we were using a Canon G7X Mark II and a GoPro Hero 7. We have now upgraded to a Canon G7X Mark III and we use a GoPro Hero 10.
They're just cameras.
Yeah. Sometimes we use a phone. We have used a phone once in Disney World to see what that was like. So we've done that. Yeah, I think that's it. In terms of what we use to vlog with, both the cameras have got tripods attached to them. So this one's got a little remote. And the GoPro's got a remote on the handle as well, so that helps, and hopefully the quality should improve on some of the focusing.
Well, the little controls only help you know how to use them, and I don't yet.
That's like start recording or take picture. That's focus. That's zoom in and zoom out.
Then why can't you make it work now when you're trying to stop the recording?
I just didn't have the setting. There's a slide switch to put it onto recording, and I didn't realise. So when it comes to editing, Bob does most of the editing, as he said. What do you use to edit?
The computer. DaVinci Resolve 17.
We're on 17 still?
Yeah.
Oh. I need to upgrade that. They've released 18. I haven't upgraded. Oh. Yeah, I think when we first started, we were using weve, I think it was called, I can't remember. But I saw lots of reviews for DaVinci and it's what a lot of professionals use, so I thought we'd go to it, and it's pretty much free. There's like a couple of features that are locked behind a paywall, but nothing major, like it'll be like some effects or something. So that's really useful. It's really good software. If anybody wants to use it, I'd highly recommend it. Though you do have to have a relatively powerful computer. You can't use like an old laptop. It wouldn't necessarily work on an old laptop. It kept crashing my laptop, and my laptop isn't that old, so. And then also on the topic of vlogging, do you want to ask this one about where we get the music from?
Yeah, somebody had asked us what music we use, where we get the music from, and it's Epidemic Sounds.
Yes.
Which admittedly I thought for a while it was freebies, but you said no, we do pay for.
Mm-hmm.
You have a paid profile account thing on there, and you just choose the music you want from it.
Yeah, there's loads of music and sound effects on there you can download, and you can use them all the time. You've got a subscription to it, and then if you end your subscription, you can't use it anymore. Obviously, you can't use that music anymore in any videos or beyond that point. But anything that still has that sound on it before you cancelled your membership can still remain on YouTube, for example. And you can use it on multiple accounts, so you can link multiple accounts to that profile, and then you can use that music across accounts. So it's good. Because we do have TikTok, where I've used some of the music there. I don't think and Instagram has some of that music on there with our little preview videos, on Facebook too.
Mm-hmm. Little teasers. Yeah.
Yes. So some people have asked where we got our channel name from, because it's a bit unusual. We didn't want anything too generic or, I don't want to say boring, but we wanted something different.
That's right. Bob and Dan something or other.
Yeah.
Just seemed a bit, don't know. But basically it's nicknames.
Mm-hmm.
for those not in the know, on the gay scene, a hairy, beary guy is a bear. And there's had little jokey category, not jokey, but sort of little categories like bears, otters, and
Cubs,
pups, and that.
Yeah.
So for years, friends, and just like a little nickname was Bobby Bear. So when I was younger, Bobby Bear Cub, but he's too old for that now. So it just stuck, Bobby Bear. A few friends call me. With you, more like pup.
Yeah, the pup. Yeah, so that's how the name sort of came about. It's quite difficult though when you're trying to explain it to somebody. If somebody asks you what your channel name is, and you go Pup and Bear Travels, they're like, what?
Pub and bar what?
Yeah, so we have printed out little business cards that have got the channel name on it for future reference.
Not we've given them to anybody yet, because we're sort of fiddling around with them thinking, does this seem a bit big-headed, having a little business card? That seems just easier to see it written down and go Pup and Bear Travels than go.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
It's fun. We're learning.
Yeah. It's just a way of we tried a channel that was just slightly different, that hadn't been used by anyone, which it hasn't, because we managed to obtain the domains for the website as well, so we know it hasn't been used. We do have a website in case you want to go and look. Pup and Bear Travels at .co.uk or
The only other Pup and Bear thing that pops up in the occasional search is there is a children's book, I believe it is, called Pup and Bear.
Okay. And
that pops up occasionally when I'm trying to type in our website to go check out things like that. So yeah, it's not something that gets used a lot. So it was just like our nicknames. We didn't think anything was going to come of it. We just thought, things. I don't know who's going to watch these anyway, but obviously it's picked up. So a few people have gone, it's an unusual name. So that's how it was just like our nicknames for each other and from friends.
So. The one thing that people have asked us, which gets on my nerves a little bit, is why don't we smile? Or somebody, I think, commented...
It's just my smile.
Somebody commented, I love your videos, but I just wish you look like... Somebody did comment, I love your videos, but I just wish it looked like you were having more fun. I think because we've never really been on camera, Bob demonstrating his resting face, we're not used to outwardly showing emotions necessarily.
And we're both quite shy guys anyway, so as long as we're outgoing and laughy, jokey. But for years people have said, God's sake, smile, look like you're enjoying yourself. And going, well, I am, I didn't realise I wasn't smiling, so yeah.
Yeah, I used to have that with people on the bus, and I saw you on the bus, but you weren't smiling, you didn't look very happy. I was like, I don't just sit there on the bus smiling to myself because I look like a maniacal maniac. It's like, what am I doing? Just sit there smiling the whole time. But yeah, so we're trying to improve on that and maybe show our emotions a little bit more. But we have been asked that, which is fun.
Sometimes even on these sort of things, while you're talking and I'm concentrating on what you're saying, listening to what you're saying, I forget that I should be smiling. I'm sort of thinking, okay,
The fun,
thinking, watching it back editing, going, oh my god, I look so miserable.
That's why he puts his bob in editing comments. The ones that always make me laugh is the ones, the DVC one, which we'll link in the corner. When we did our DVC review, I have more of a head for numbers and stuff, and then you could literally see you glazing over and kind of phasing out.
Going, he's talking about numbers again. I'm better at spelling and grammar and writing and things like that. It's the numbers I can't do.
I do both. Spelling maybe not so much because I'm slightly dyslexic, but
I know you do get me to proofread some of this, but yeah, it's maths. I've never been good at maths. I blamed school teachers giving us calculators when we were kids, so we didn't have to do it in our heads.
Yeah,
it's my excuse. I'm sticking to it.
So we're going to get onto some of the more fun stuff now. We're going to talk about holidays, and then we'll get onto Disney stuff. Like, that's what most people came here for. So holidays. Obviously, people, if you've watched our channel, you'll know that we do a lot of, well, I say a lot. We do Disney, mainly. You haven't seen us go anywhere else outside of, like, Disney, outside of this country, if you know what I mean. That doesn't kind of make sense, but when we've been abroad, it's been Disney related, according to our vlogs. So how many countries have we visited? Bob?
I have. Depends whether you count Scotland and Wales as countries.
Well,
Outside of
Scotland is
England.
definitely a country.
No, Wales would be a country though. This means that do you count outside of the UK or not? If you're counting outside of England, there's Wales and Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been to Ireland. I've been to France, obviously USA with you, and I've been to Mykonos, so that's Greece. So 5, if you count Scotland and Wales.
Mm.
And you?
So, if we count Scotland and Wales, Southern Ireland, or Republic of Ireland, France, Spain, Italy, America, Japan. I think that's it.
Mm-hmm.
It's 8.
So you do get around.
Yes. So yeah, I do going to other places, and we will be doing other places soon. Our channel obviously is a bit dominated by Disney at the moment, but that's just because of the way things have worked out with the pandemics and stuff. But we are planning on doing other holidays too that aren't just Disney.
That's why it's Pup and Bear Travels, not Pup and Bear Do Disney as a channel name. Because we
Write that down as a secondary channel.
Well, say, as you've seen already, so a lot of people have said to us, "Oh, as much as we love your Disney content, we like the stuff you're doing that's not Disney as well to get to know you a bit more." Hence why we're doing this, getting to know us. But
yeah,
we do eventually. Sorry. So we do eventually have plans, like we want to go to all the other Disney parks around the world.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually we want to go to Shanghai, Hong Kong, Tokyo together, because you've been on your own.
I've been to Tokyo just now.
Am I missing one? Oh, Anaheim, California.
Yeah.
So we want to go to do all the other Disney parks eventually. I'd like to go to Mykonos with you, so went with an ex years ago, and I want to have nice memories of going there. And you want to go with me to Rome,
Italy, yeah.
Italy, so you can have nice memories of going to Rome, Italy, whatever. So for places like that, there's lots of places and even places we haven't been to before. So we do want to travel around a bit more. But at the minute, it's more a case of we've now got DVC. We do want to do Disney every year, but what we can do then is eventually, after a little while, we can maybe skip a year, roll over our DVC points to the following year, and instead go somewhere else.
Potentially, the plan is to go to Aulani in Hawaii, which is a Disney resort, in 2024, which is my 20th.
You wish.
I'm 20. My 40th. Potentially. We haven't fully planned that out yet, but that's an idea.
Well, the same. We have recently found out from another friend that they're doing Disney World Florida that year for their 50th.
So we're not sure.
So we have been asked if we want to go with them, and it could be, even though they're not the same month, joint birthday between you and another friend holiday. So we're not sure we're doing it. So Hawaii did look a bit harder to plan around when we looked, because we thought people said, "Oh, you can do that and California in the same trip." I'm thinking that seems like a lot of travelling backwards and forwards. And
yeah, the issue that I had was the flights. If anyone's got any advice on this, then please let me know. But if we were to fly to Hawaii, then fly over to California, do California, and then come home, I found it difficult to get the flights to work, because a one-way trip to Hawaii is more expensive than a return trip to Hawaii on the flight. And you can't just buy a return trip and not go back on the return, because you get fined for doing that or something like that. So if anyone's got any advice of how to do it, it might be through a travel agent, we might have to do it, but I don't know. The problem is we can't do it through a travel agent because we're DVC, so we wouldn't want to book anything else but the flights. That's the problem. So I'm not sure. We might have to talk to an actual airline and see what they suggest.
this is where you do all the researching online booking stuff. I start and get confused and go, help.
Yeah, so that's the plan anyway. So in terms of holidays, we've discussed that we want to do some non-Disney ones, which is good, which will be fun to do together and explore a bit. In terms of holiday locations, do you prefer hot or cold?
Somewhere in between, because we both hate hot weather like it is in the UK at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But having said that, we obviously go to Florida,
Yes.
which is slightly warm.
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't feel quite as humid over there. I know it does if it's been raining, like and then the heat makes it humid for a while. But for some reason, it seems more bearable over there. I don't know why. I think a lot of it is to do with because you're on holiday and relaxing, obviously not working it through it. But also, like everywhere in Florida and the Disney parks, for example, has aircon.
Yes.
Nearly everywhere has air conditioning, whereas UK homes are just not designed for the hot weather. They're just brick
it's designed,
jails.
they're designed to keep the heat in, because traditionally, obviously, UK in the past has been a colder country, but I think over the years it seemed to have gotten hotter every year. I said some places in this heat wave are going to be hitting 40 degrees, so it's going to get very hot.
Because we're filming this now on Saturday the
something of July,
16th, is it?
16th of July.
It's Saturday the 16th of July, and the temperature in the next few days is set to get up to about 40 odd.
I'm not sure what mine says. I'm just going to quick look to see what. So currently it's 26, it's 28 early on, 38 apparently on Monday here, 38 degrees.
Which at work, in the fact the sort of the old building that I work in, will get even hotter than that.
Yeah.
But they have said to us to do an early shift instead of the late shift because it's cooler in the mornings. But,
yeah, and because our homes aren't built with air conditioning.
So trying to get back to the question that I've wandered off from is, we both prefer cold weather.
Yes.
Because, as I phrase it, in cold weather you can put on another layer until you get warm. In the hot weather, there's only so many layers you can take off before you get arrested for nudity.
Yes.
So, as much as we prefer cooler weather, when it comes to holidays, it does seem to be hot weather because we just like Florida.
Yeah.
At the minute, we have had friends saying, well, surely by now you must get bored of Disney World. You've been twice already in the last couple of years. I'm thinking,
no.
Bored of Disney?
Don't understand that.
Do you not know us?
So I mean, we did both times when we've done Paris though. It's been cold.
Yeah. December and February.
So I enjoyed that still. We got cold, but that was fine. Yeah, I do prefer the slightly cooler temperatures. I'd like to go at some point to a nice snowy country for a holiday. And not like a really long one. I don't think 2 weeks, but it would be nice to like have a week somewhere in a nice snowy country and explore that. Because we do get snow here now and again, but not.
In fact, when it snows here in the UK, it's the only time Dan will eagerly volunteer to go for a walk.
I love walking in the snow.
Exactly. So the day it freshly snows, I'll come home from work and you go, let's go for a walk. I go, okay then. By the next day when it started to just get a bit slushy out, I don't want to go out now. Going, but you want to go for a walk in the snow? That was yesterday when it's fresh snow. Don't want to go out now. But we did look briefly. Shocking as this will be, at a Disney cruise. Is it Alaska one or what is it they do?
The Baltics.
Baltics. Yeah. Because of the picture of Mickey and Minnie in there, he's got his little yellow waterproofs on, and she's got a big Eskimo.
They might do an Alaskan one too, but I'm sure we looked at the Baltics was the one we looked at. Yeah. Just because it's easier for us from here to go up there, I think.
Is that the one that leaves from Southampton?
I don't know.
We'd have to.
We're probably talking a load of rubbish, but you know.
Nothing new there.
We did look at doing a cooler cruise.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, you. I take it. That's probably the answer for you as well. Is that you prefer the cooler?
Yeah, I said cooler. I get really. My issue with warm temperatures is that I get really irritable in them, and probably everyone does, but. If I can't cool myself down, I get really frustrated, and that's kind of an issue for me. Yeah. It's like when I work. If I get too warm in here, I get myself really frustrated, and sometimes I get a bit angry just because I'm so warm. It's a bit weird. Not like that. But yeah. Yeah, we enjoy Florida. It's warm, but it's nice that everywhere's got air conditioning. As I said, it's just the fact that over here we don't tend to, like, the houses don't have air conditioning. We have a unit now because we bought one, but it's like a little mobile one.
We can't put it on in a minute because it'd be noisy while we're recording.
It's very loud. So we can now move on to the topic that most people might want to hear about, Disney.
Well, it depends what they are. If you've seen the title along the lines of Getting to Know Us, you might have already been more interested in what we've already talked about, but we can't not talk about us and what we get up to and not mention Disney. So,
No.
or more than we already have already mentioned Disney in this vlog.
So the question is a difficult question that we have to ask.
Because people do ask
that
us.
people are dying to know. Disneyland Paris or Walt Disney World?
It's tough because there are some rides I prefer in Paris than Florida and vice versa.
Yeah.
I think I like Disneyland Paris because it's smaller and usually a bit quieter. It's easier to get to.
You can do more there as well. Like you can get more done in one.
Yeah, you get more done in a day. Because even though it's a lot smaller, you think there's more people queuing for the rides. It doesn't seem to be that way.
But we have to bear in mind that we've never been in a high season. We've only been in winter, so
yeah. So yeah, might be different. But things like the Buzz Lightyear ride and Pirates of the Caribbean are both infinitely better in Disneyland Paris than the Florida ones.
Yeah, my thing with Disneyland Paris and Buzz, I don't know whether, if you've never been to Disneyland Paris, the reason it's better is because the guns that you use come out the holsters and you can move them, whereas the ones in Disney World are attached to
and the Paris ones, the targets are colour coded.
Yes, you know which ones are higher scores.
And they seem to work better because when you shoot and hit the target, whatever's supposed to move tends to move, whereas a lot of the stuff in Florida, you can see it looks like it should move, but whether it just stays static, nothing goes wee, spin, pop up or whatever. So, and in Pirates of the Caribbean, the reason the Florida one isn't very good compared with the other ones is because when the park first opened, it didn't exist. They didn't have Pirates of the Caribbean, and people at the time complained that the parks opened without Pirates of the Caribbean, so they've had to find a space and cram it in, and it's not very good. There's not so many drops. The effects aren't as good.
I don't know whether saying it's not very good is a.
In my opinion,
Yeah.
it's not as good. It's still a good ride. I still love
Yeah.
I still love Pirates of the Caribbean in Florida. It's just not as good in my opinion as the Florida one, as the French one.
Our opinions do not represent the Disney company.
Or any of the cast members of weve. But like I said, the Paris one has 2 or 3 drops and effects like the steam screen that comes down. They project a randomised captain on it.
I thought they had that in Florida now. I don't
remember ever seeing it when we've been there, unless it's just been deactivated on the days we've been through it.
I'm sure it does have it, but I can't remember.
And I remember seeing it in a vlog that I watched back of ours recently for Summit. I mentioned that the flame effects in the burning town just appear better in the French one. And even the walk down to the boats in the French one feels better than the theming than the Florida one, where you're just walking through like the castle bit, aren't you? The sort of the fort. But I don't know. It's all people might think I'm an absolute idiot and talking rubbish, but it's just my personal preferences. I prefer those 2 rides in France. Although
Bob has some very strong opinions.
I love Pirates of the Caribbean. It's one of my favourite film franchises.
Didn't realise I was going to open up so much can of worms.
Something I haven't mentioned in the vlogs before, but it's just that if you're going to do a ride, do it properly. But anyway, yeah. As for the parks in general, though, it's still hard because there is a lot more to do in Florida, even if it's harder to get to and it's busier and it's hotter. What about you? Which park?
I have favourites for different reasons.
Copycat.
The reason, if I want a short trip, it would be Disneyland Paris, because, not that I ever want a short trip, but if that's all I have, then because you can get to all the parks easily. They're walking distance between the 2 parks. Literally, like you look there, there's one entrance to one, look there, there's the entrance to the other. California's like that, I know, and the village for shopping is like right next to it too. And to me, it feels, I don't know, a bit more nostalgic, which is a bit of a weird thing to say. But I mean, I went in 2005 originally there, so I don't know whether that's what it is for me that I went there back in 2005, and now it just kind of brings back the kind of nostalgic feeling. But in terms of rides and stuff, I would say Disney World is infinitely better because the amount it has. I like the rides in Disneyland Paris, but obviously there's nowhere near as many. You can do Disneyland Paris in like 2 days, really, 2 to 3 days at the most. But Disney World, you can't.
No.
It takes a whole day for at least one park, and because they've got and more, and because they've got multiple parks,
It takes a whole day to get there.
yeah. But that's probably my opinion. I would say I probably would pick Disney World over Disneyland Paris if travel wasn't an issue.
Fair point.
And for theming, I'd pick Tokyo, which wasn't even an option. But they do it very well. We do need to go there at some point.
And I can't wait till we finally make it to Shanghai, because I've seen a point of view video of their Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
Oh yeah, so much
And
different.
it's a trackless ride, and it makes it look like you've gone under the sea with all the shipwrecks around you, and it just looks amazing.
So which park at Disney World or Disneyland is your favourite?
Ooh, Trixie.
I would say currently, again, all of them have different pros and cons, but I would say for me it's Magic Kingdom at Disney World, just because it just feels more Disney than anywhere else.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. That's why it's hard. I'm torn between Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom. Magic Kingdom, for the traditional rides that I've always liked to look off, and now finally have ridden, like Peter Pan and Snow White and all those traditional ones, and It's a Small World After all those sort of things. I love those rides. At the same time, I love the theming in Animal Kingdom in Disney World, of all the different countries, the old ruins, all the rides out there, like Pandora. That land of Pandora is beautiful, and my favourite ride is even after being on the 2 new ones earlier this year, Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway and the Star Wars one I never remember the name of.
Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah, even though I've been on those and I love them, my favourite ride in Florida is still Flight of Passage. So I'm torn between the two. My least favourite is easier, Tomorrowland.
That's not a park, but
Is it not? I don't know.
Tomorrowland's
Part of
Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. Well, my least favourite area in a park is Tomorrowland, because the buzz in Florida is meh. Speedway is meh. Tomorrowland Speedway. I do like the Carousel of Progress in that area, but
Keep skipping ahead on the questions though.
I
Terrible.
haven't even read the questions properly. They're down here. They should be up here somewhere so I can read them properly. I don't have to keep going on. You see my head in all the time.
So I think I agree with you on most of that. I do like Animal Kingdom. It's a Magic Kingdom. I think they've all got
Pros and cons.
Yeah, they're all my favourite for different reasons as well. So Magic Kingdom my favourite because of the Disneyness of it. Hollywood Studios because of the different IPs like Toy Story Land and Disney, Star Wars, that type of thing. Animal Kingdom, I think for the look of it, because it's like I like the African sort of feel about it and stuff like that, and the Asian feel. And Epcot for the World Showcase, because I do like the World Showcase. If I had to pick a least favourite park, that would be really difficult to do, and I'm not sure if I could pick a least favourite park.
So luckily you don't have to pick a least favourite, because this is just a bit of a fun vlog, so you don't need to pick a least favourite in any way.
No, I know, I don't have to, but I think if I was to include both resorts as in Disneyland Paris and Disney World, my least favourite would be Studios in Disneyland Paris. Because this is not... I can't really comment now because they've just opened Avengers Campus, so I don't know. But up until now, there hasn't been much there. There was obviously Remy and Crush's Coaster, which we've never managed to get onto because the queues are massive. And then they what's it called? The tram tour ride that they've now made, the Cars ride, is nowhere near as good as it used to be. So to me, that became my least favourite when that happened. But with Avengers Campus opening and they're going to be opening up a Star Wars area and Frozen, it might improve. So. Do you have a favourite ride? You probably mentioned it's probably like Pirates of the Caribbean or
Pirates of the what?
No, not Pirates of the Caribbean. What was the other one you mentioned?
Fleur.
A Flight of Passage. There we go, Pandora. That's probably your favourite, isn't it? You've already mentioned that. Do you want to say something?
I was just going to say it's just the feeling of being in that simulator seat, the seat where you got your glasses on, you're strapped in tight, and all the sort of pitching it does. If you allow yourself to get lost in the moment, it does feel like you're actually flying on the Banshee.
See, my two, obviously it's a toss-up for me between Flight of Passage and Rise of the Resistance. I think for me now, Rise of the Resistance takes first place for me because of the 3D that you need on Flight of Passage. Because you have to wear the glasses. Bob wears contact lenses, I don't. So he can put his glasses on over his face and it's fine because he's got contact lenses on. But I don't wear contact lenses, so I have.
We can make you wear contact lenses.
No. So I have to put the 3D glasses over my. So I've got a toss up. I either watch it fuzzy with my glasses off and 3D glasses on, or I watch it with my glasses on and the 3D glasses on and everything just looks like it's double anyway because they don't sit properly on your face. You end up with like slight doubling of the thing. So I think for me, Rise of Resistance becomes my favourite because of that issue.
Contact lenses.
Oh.
You won't even be in the same rooms when I take them out and put them in.
I'm not blind without my glasses, but everything's just slightly fuzzy, and so it's not great to not have them on. So I need to stop saying so. I say it all the time.
Needle pulling thread.
Yes. The next bit is, I don't know whether I can answer this because I can't remember. My brain, I should have done some research on this, I can't remember. But favourite snack?
We're talking Disney still, aren't we?
Yes, we're still at Disney.
Favourite? We didn't really eat many snacks in Disneyland Paris.
No.
That comes to mind. So, Disney World. Favourite snack would probably be that peanut butter brownie cupcakey thing we had in.
Okay.
It was Contemporary, I think we had it in, or was it the one? Was it in the Mara?
It was in the Mara.
Yeah, there was a nice peanut buttery. Yeah.
In the Contemporary we had.
It's a tough one between the peanut butter one we had in the Mara and the coconut one in the Contemporary.
Which we can insert pictures of these two there. It was the Nyala brownie in the Mara. But I can't remember what the one in the Contemporary was, but we can probably put it on the screen if we can find it in the vlog. I would say my favourite snack is a Mickey Premium Bar.
Ice cream.
I'm not a fan, don't come for me in the comments, I'm not a fan of Mickey waffles.
We had them. We
Yes.
tried it the first time, didn't we?
Yeah, like the breakfast and stuff. I'm not a fan of them. They're alright. Obviously that's quite a big one that people rave about. The pretzels are quite nice. We had pretzels the first time we went with the cheese sauce. They were quite nice.
Or the cat tail.
Or the
Cheshire cat tail
was very nice actually. You're changing your mind.
Don't know. It's basically like a yum yum that we have over in this country, but with chocolates, icing on it. So I think I still prefer the other two I've mentioned, but I do love the Cheshire cat tail.
I would not say yum yum. Yum yum's more of a donutty pastry, whereas the cat tail's a flaky pastry, a bit like a croissant type thing. But yeah, it doesn't matter. It was nice. As for least favourite, anything with fruit on it.
My least favourite is the vial when we had the Contemporary with the white,
that wasn't that bad.
the white monorail chocolate on top of it, with a very dry, boring cupcake with the sickly sweet mountain of icing on it and a horrible white chocolate, tasteless monorail sat on top.
Bob had a very strong opinion about that. If you want to see that, we'll link it in the corner.
I know what I like and what I don't like.
Yeah, I'm quite fussy when it comes to with fruit with stuff. I'll eat fresh fruit, but I don't like fruit on or in anything. So, like, you can get waffles with like strawberries and stuff like that, or Mickey waffle with strawberries on it, and I don't like them. I also found that I don't really like peanut butter flavoured things. I love peanut butter, but we had the Nyala brownie and it's one of your favourites, but I wasn't over keen on it because the flavour of peanut butter and that type of stuff, for some reason, I just don't like.
You made us peanut butter cookies, I think, the other year.
Yeah.
Was cookies? Yeah, I think it was cookies. And thinking, oh, I love peanut butter, I'll make some cookies for us. But when you tried them yourself, you always went, oh no.
Yeah.
Don't eat so much, so I had to force myself to eat them all for us.
Talking of food, do you have a favourite restaurant? This isn't on the list, I'm going off plan now.
How dare you? Favourite restaurant? What, between Paris and Disney World? Or in a Pacific one?
Whatever.
I was going to say my least favourite.
We're not talking least favourite.
I know.
I said favourite. Stop trying to move on to the next question.
Is that a question as well?
No. But it
Well,
will
there we
be.
are then. How can I know it's going to be the next question if it's not even on your little list?
What's your favourite restaurant then?
What, in Disney? Or here in the UK? You haven't specified.
Well, consider we're in the Disney category of our getting to know us section, and
Getting
Disney.
to know you. Getting to know all about you. Favourite Disney Land or Disney World?
Whichever. I know that your favourite isn't going to be Disneyland Paris.
I don't know. There's a very good one I really like, Disneyland Paris. Actually, you just don't like going there.
Yes, but does it trump places like Tiffin's and Le Cellier?
Maybe not.
Precisely.
But I did really like the Buffalo Billy type, whatever it was called, place.
Yes,
when we
but
went the first time.
I didn't ask where you liked. I said, what's your favourite?
There are three that really stand out in Disney World.
Are they going to two of them, two that I just mentioned?
Yep.
I know what the third one is.
Tiffin's, Le Cellier, Skipper Canteen.
I knew you'd mention those three.
That's the three, but it's hard to choose between the two. We've only eaten in each of them once. We didn't do that at all in February, so it's cast my mind back nearly 2 years now. Or 2 years and a bit.
We ate in Skipper Canteen twice, I'm sure, on the first holiday.
Yeah, but it's still within the same holiday 2 years ago.
That's not what you said. You said we were only eating each one once.
Did we go back twice?
I'm sure we did, yeah. But anyway.
I don't know. I've been asleep since then. The food, probably Le Cellier, because the meal we had there, the platter with all the beef, the steak and everything on it,
Yeah, we had Wagyu beef.
and the marrow bone bit piece and everything. Oh, it was beautiful. So the food itself, from what I can remember, would probably be Le Cellier. The atmosphere, Skipper Canteen, because the skippers that come with their little corny jokes and things like that, and the woman that served us, cast member, she was absolutely brilliant. She was so funny. And theming would be Tiffin's even.
Tippins?
It's a friend of our surname. Sorry, Tiffin's, because I just love all the theming in there, the sort of African look to it all, and the cakes, everything on display, things like that. So yeah, it's a tough choice between the three.
Yeah, I think Le Cellier is probably one of the best ones that I can think of. Though the cost is quite high on that one, obviously it's a signature. I mean, Tiffin's is too, but I seem to remember we got this, we had the Wagyu beef sharing platter, and I'm sure it was like $100 or something like that. We were on the meal plan at the time, so it wasn't too bad, but it was quite expensive. But it was very nice. Yeah, Tiffin's is very nice. It was very nice, and Skipper Canteen. I think they would be my favourite. We haven't done a hell of a lot of restaurants though, to be honest, to be able to say overall in Disney World this is going to be our favourite restaurant, because we don't know yet. We haven't done them all. There's a few that we want to do, like we want to do Paddlefish in Disney Springs, and the Boathouse in Disney Springs too. Yeah. I think when it comes to least favourite restaurants now, in terms of Disneyland Paris, if I remember what's it called in Disneyland Paris, and I'm going to get this wrong, the buffet restaurant, Plaza Garden, is it Plaza Gardens or was that Disney World?
I don't know which one you mean. Which one you're about?
the glass house one in Disneyland Paris?
Yes,
Is it Plaza Gardens there, or is that Disney World?
I think that is Plaza Gardens. The one that looks like a big glass house
Yeah.
in the main square.
That would be my least favourite in Disneyland Paris. And in Disney World, unpopular opinion, going to be Garden Grill.
I was going to suggest that as well.
Epcot.
As nice as I loved the idea of the rotating restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
and it's good to see just a few characters come to your table and interact and have photographs, but the food itself...
I really didn't like the food myself.
No.
But then again, I didn't even like the breakfast food that we had at Ohana's, which again is a terrible thing, and people will come for us in comments, but we didn't like that. We need to go back for the dinner. Apparently the dinner's meant to be really nice there.
But yeah, I was also going to say one of my least favourites in Paris is actually Chef Mickey.
Yeah.
Because it might have just been the particular time that we went. We were sat in an awkward seat, and as you're trying to eat your food, it's nice. We want them together because there's obviously a character meet and greet one, but there's so many characters there. That literally every couple of mouthfuls, somebody else would come up, and you'd have to stop, get up, have a hug, have a photograph. Oh, thank you very much. We should start off thinking, oh, this is good, getting your money's worth here. And after a while, thinking, my food's getting cold. And because we're in an awkward seat, it's having to squeeze out so you could get out and everything else.
Yeah, I think it was easier for you because you were sat on the outside of the table, whereas I was sat on like the benchy bit, and every time I had to sort of squeeze between two tables to get out and say hello. I think the ones that have lots of characters is okay if it's like a buffet restaurant, but when it's like you've got a plate of food, you obviously have to leave your food there and go and say hello to the characters, etc. I didn't mind it; it was alright.
So I'd go to all of them again. It's just maybe it was that particular first time of each, and it was just probably yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
We probably might do the one in we just said in Living with Land,
Garden Grill.
Garden Grill. Remember, like I said, I might do that again in September just to see. But then hopefully, see if the food's any different. We just not like things like the what's the traditional American food that we both don't like that much? Macaroni cheese, whatever it is. That was a lot
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese. We're just not really huge lovers of that, so it seemed to mainly that with a few bits of veg around it.
There was meats and stuff.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, it was alright. Yeah, we probably will go back at some point. We're gonna, in our next series coming up in September, we want to try it. We want to do a lot of new things that we haven't done before on the vlogs, just so there'll be new restaurants for us to review, hopefully.
New restaurants, rides we haven't been on before, although we will not be going on Tower of Terror because you'd be scared.
Yeah, I don't like Tower of Terror. It scares me.
Oh, look at a little puppy.
So this next question is going to be a bit of a difficult one to answer because we haven't stayed at many places. But what's your favourite resort that you've stayed at so far? Disney World or Disney? Yeah, you could include Disneyland Paris, but we've only stayed at one there as well. So.
Yeah. So Disneyland Paris, out of Cheyenne, which one did I like better?
Technically, I can say out of Cheyenne or Santa Fe because I stayed in Santa Fe in 2005, but that was before it was Cars themed, so it was a long time ago.
Right, from what? Just only include ones you've actually stayed at, or ones you've...
Well, let's say out of the ones we've stayed at so far, what's your favourite, and then we'll talk about which ones we want to stay at.
Well, in that case, Disneyland Paris is a choice of Hotel Cheyenne or Hotel Cheyenne, so I'll choose Hotel Cheyenne. In Disney World, we then have a choice of Port Orleans,
Port Orleans French Quarter or Animal Kingdom Lodge.
And that would be easy. Port Orleans French Quarter. We when we went for a honeymoon in 2019 to French Quarter, absolutely loved it. It's a beautiful resort, close enough to Disney Springs. You just get the taxi boat, whatever you want to call it. It wasn't too busy. This is just the time of year we were there. The theming and the smell as you walk into the foyer area with the fountain going and that. Oh, we loved it. And we said, oh, we'll definitely come back here next holiday. when we came to book the next holiday, or when Dan came to book it, you found a great deal at Animal Kingdom Lodge. We thought, oh my god, this is like one of the best hotels you can stay at apparently, Animal Kingdom Lodge, and it's like a half price offer. So we booked it. Admittedly, all got moved along a bit. So when we went in February, and we managed to get the Animal Kingdom Lodge again, we thought, oh great, this is going to be brilliant. But as you would have seen from the vlog, it had its good points. It was nice to have a savannah view and see the animals, but you look at it for 5 minutes in the morning before you go to the park. By the time you come home in the evening, it gets too dark and you can't see anything. The one we were staying at, Kidani Village, it's all just shades of brown and cream, and it just wasn't very interesting to look at as much. I don't know.
The location on London didn't help as well, so I mean,
6 hour hike to our room from the reception.
Yeah. It's a nice enough resort. I think it's nice to have experienced it. But yeah, it's probably my least favourite. My most favourite in Disney World, obviously, is French Quarter. I think not just because of the resort, but also because it's our first one we stayed at. It holds a bit of a special memory for us, and it was our honeymoon. Where are you looking? Where do you want to stay at Disney World? I mean, obviously, we could say we want to stay at the most expensive ones, but if you had to pick one, what would be your?
Disneyland Paris. I'm not really interested in the art of Marvel. What is it called?
Hotel New York, the Art of Marvel.
Yeah, we went around it. For those who might not have seen it, in our December vlog series from Disneyland Paris, around the middle of the holiday, I think it was. What was it? We did go around all of the resorts there, having a little look around, the gift shop snap, and recorded it all.
We'll link that in the corner.
Yeah, you know the link.
I think I keep pointing to the wrong side, or do I? I don't know. We'll link it in the corner, wherever it is.
Yeah, it's a lovely hotel, and it's very posh looking. But it just, I don't know, it just wasn't my cup of tea. It seemed a bit too formal and cold almost.
Also, I think the prices are really
extortionate. Yeah.
From what I've seen, they've gone up quite a lot for that area.
So I love Hotel Cheyenne. I love the sort of country western sort of theme of it. Didn't like the one you stayed at before, Santa Fe, as much. We went over there for a meal, and I wasn't really taken with it. So it would be a tough choice. Obviously Cheyenne I like. The other being Newport Bay looks really nice, but I think ideally, given the budget, one day would be the Disneyland Hotel over the entrance to the park. It just looks, even though we've not been inside it to have a look around because it was closed when we went there, so we couldn't even go and have a little look around. The actual hotel itself, from the outside at least, and from the clips we've seen of other people's vlogs, it looks lovely. And you're also right above the entrance to the park, so you haven't got a walk tour from the park, even though it's a short walk from the resorts. So for Disneyland Paris, what about you?
It would probably be the same. Ideally, Disneyland Paris, the Disneyland Hotel would be the ideal. It's got like the lift that goes down right to the entrance, so it's quick to get in. The theming, I think it looks so nice. From what I've seen, I've never been in there, and the restaurant in there is apparently meant to be very nice inventions. That's meant to be very nice. I would love to stay there. Newport Bay though is definitely a place I'd like to stay as well. It looks lovely. We toured that. If you want to see any of the tours, we'll link the video as I've said. So
the one we did mention is Sequoia Lodge. Again, that did look nice when we went into it. But I don't know. I don't see what the rooms look like because we just obviously did the reception area and we had a meal in it. To be honest, the restaurant in Sequoia Lodge ended up being one of our favourites of the holiday.
I think the problem with Sequoia is the rooms. From what I've seen, because I don't think they've refurbed the Sequoia Lodge rooms for a while, so some of them are a bit outdated. No, it's not necessarily an issue, but I think some of the other rooms kind of are better now. But if I only had to, if the Sequoia Lodge was the only place available, then I wouldn't have a problem with it. I don't hate it. It's just not my preference. And when it comes to Disney World, I think I'd really like to stay in the Magic Kingdom ones. I think when it comes to contemporary Polynesian or Grand Floridian, I think Polynesian would be my preference.
The bungalow.
The bungalow, yeah, would be an ideal, but that's very expensive, so I don't think we'd ever stay there. But even just a normal room at Polynesian would be lovely. I'd love to stay there. That would be an ideal, I think.
And we haven't been inside the Grand Floridian yet.
No.
We'll do that in September. If we get around to it, if we remember, because we're very forgetful. We keep thinking, oh, we'll do that tomorrow, we've got a whole holiday. And the next thing you know, after the holiday, oh, I must do that next couple of days, I haven't done it yet. And the next thing you know, you're the last 2 days going, oh, we haven't done this or this we want to do yet.
We could always try and tour some of the DVC rooms at Grand Floridian.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be good. But yeah, Grand Floridian would be good, but I think Polynesian to me is better.
Yeah, trying to think of any other. There's so many resorts at Disney World. Is the problem.
Yeah, I'd like to stay at them all, to be honest.
Yeah. But yeah, I think probably it'd probably be Polynesian on the bungalow ideally. But yeah, anyway, in a Polynesian or Grand Flo. Contemporary, I don't know. It was nice being in there and seeing the monorail come through the building and everything. I'm not sure what the rooms are like there. It just looks like it's a bit older now. So
I think the Bay Lake Tower is the better section of it, but I don't know. Don't quote me. That's like the round. There's like the round tower next to it. So that might be better. I don't know. I mean, I'd like to stay in like the Wilderness Lodge as well, but it's difficult. But I think, yeah. Well, we're staying in 2 different resorts this September, so we'll have an announcement video where we'll discuss all the details of that closest to the time. But yeah, we're hoping to stay in a variety of different resorts over the time that we're going to be going.
You mean over the next several years? Or,
yeah.
Like I say, we know staying in two resorts this year.
The only reason we're doing 2, we'll discuss it more in the announcement, but is because we couldn't get 2 weeks in one of our chosen resorts, so we split it over the 2, so it should be fun. Yeah, the only other question that we've got on the list is just completely disjointed, doesn't really relate to Disney parks, but what is your favourite Disney film?
It has been for years.
Beauty and the Beast.
Yes, see, you know, Beauty and the Beast, the animated version. Then when the live action one came out, I loved that equally to the animated one. But there's also the Pirates of the Caribbean, a Disney franchise. I love the Pirates of the Caribbean films, especially like the third one. But Encanto is high up on the list now. I love Encanto, and yes, I will talk about Bruno if I want to. So I think Beauty and the Beast, just for the magicalness of it, is still my favourite. But the Pirates trilogy, just not trilogy, it was the Pirates franchise, and Encanto both sort of push it up high. I'm going to make a guess as to what yours is going to be.
What?
Having seen most of our collection is Stitch, that it might be Lilo and Stitch.
It is one of the top ones. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's my favourite. I love Stitch, that's the difference. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean that I love the film as much. I think one of my favourites, there's 2 that would be up there in terms of nostalgia, and that kind of what makes it my favourite is Lion King and Aladdin, probably. They are 2 of my very favourites. In modern, definitely Encanto is definitely my favourite in modern times, as it were. I say modern times as if like Aladdin and Lion King were hundreds of years old, but
no king, la 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 la.
But yeah, they definitely hold a very special place in my heart, those 2 films, and to a certain extent Little Mermaid too. Like, I think those 3 films are ones that I watched a lot when I was a kid. So yeah, those would be my favourite when it comes to older films, and then Encanto is my current favourite in modern day times. Current films. Yeah. Any other questions that you can think of?
No. So this list has mainly been ones that people have asked us over the last couple of years, and we've probably answered them before already anyway, and just some generic ones that we thought people would want to know. So if there is anything else that you want to ask us, just message us, pop it in the comments below. we'll always try and reply. We've so far replied to every message. I don't think we've missed anything.
No.
So yeah, this is. So in the future, we could possibly do a proper question and answer. But we just thought there isn't. We don't know how many of you would watch us at the minute to get enough questions in. So this is basically what the few questions we have been asked and what we think you'd like to know about us. So anything else, pop it down below.
Yeah, pop it in the comments.
Pop it in the comments down below.
Yeah, we're always happy to chat, to answer questions. We like talking to everyone, so
Keep the questions clean. It's a family show.
yeah, we are trying to be family friendly. But yeah, I did have a friend when I said, "Oh, I've got a YouTube channel." She said, "Is it family friendly?" I was like, "Yeah."
We're sweet and innocent.
We go to Disney. I mean, what we do? I mean, I suppose we could swear a lot, but I don't care about swearing. My kids swear all the time. I was like, I was like, what are you expecting me to be doing on YouTube? The most you've ever got is a flash of my stomach when I lay down on the bed.
And a very nice stomach it was too.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's everything then, isn't it?
I think so.
But I mean, I suppose the next question could be, where can we find you?
Oh, let me think. You can find us, as well as here on YouTube, because you're here already.
Which please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. We have many more videos coming.
Yes. You will also find us on Instagram.
Yep.
On Twitter. TikTok. Which we need to do more on all those socials really. We've been a bit lax with it recently.
Yeah, we're not the best at doing social media stuff. We're trying to get better, but we're not the best at it.
Partly because we're forgetful.
Yeah.
Partly because we're lazy.
I'm not lazy, do you?
You just conserve your energy.
Yes.
There's also a Facebook group.
Yep.
It's not a very chatty one at the minute. It's like lots of our friends and a few viewers have joined it, which we appreciate much. But at the minute we need to get in the habit of making it more friendly and chatty, because it's mainly just, here's this week's vlog. Here's this week's vlog.
Again, because we're not very good at the whole social bit.
It's as if somebody's chatting to us face to face. It's a case of, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
This is awkward. So bear with us, we're getting there. But one other thing we will mention, not quite related to this Q&A, is just a reminder that we are currently running a competition that we started in our collection tour vlog from a couple of vlogs ago. We do have a DVC lithograph of Mickey and friends outside the Riviera, and a Riviera resort pin. It's a competition. You go to our website, which we forgot to mention just now, which is www.puppandbeartravels.co.uk or .com. Both go to the same place. Find the information on there, the question, which you may know the answer to now if you watch a couple of our vlogs. We won't give you the question here because you have to go watch our video then. But yeah, go to that if you want to. Let's put a picture up here, Cameranoid, of the lithograph and pin. But yeah, if you want to enter that competition, UK entries only, I'm afraid, at the moment. We aren't doing it for abroad. So yeah, if you want to enter that competition, it's still open. We haven't actually set an end date for that yet, but
no, because we were trying to see how much interest there was. So
like I said, we're not a very big channel by any means,
no.
so the competition's still open for a while yet. So until we get enough people, then we'll advertise when it comes to an end or coming to an end. So yeah, if you're interested in entering that, go to our website. You'll find the details there. Is there a particular heading on the website you're taking?
Yeah, there's a menu at the top that says competition. Just click on that, you'll get to the page.
Yeah.
You can also there's an about us page as well, so you can, where at the beginning we discussed how we met and stuff. You could read that again if you really wanted to. Some pictures on there of us as well. You can see all our videos on there as well, and you can see our Instagram posts as well. So it's just generic, and we're going to be putting some blog posts up there as well. So and I keep saying as well. So as well. Yeah, I think that's everything then. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And as I said, please subscribe if you want to see more from us. We're going to have more coming up, not necessarily just Disney.
And a like is always appreciated.
Yes, it really helps the channel out. And comment below any questions, or if you just want to say, I agree, you don't smile very much, you can say that if you really want. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and we shall see you in the next one. Bye.